I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Number 10, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. So I decided to put these two together because in reality it is just one movie. Batman has disappeared for the last 10 years and a new breed of criminals are taking over Gotham City. This forces the 55-year-old Bruce Wayne to become the Batman one last time. The film is a perfect adaptation from the Frank Miller graphic novel. It's a great story that for many would be the best Batman has to offer, but it just never resonated with me the way it did for others. I enjoy both movies and think they look beautifully, but it's just a story that for me feels a bit dated. Definitely a film worth watching for yourself, as I am in the minority when it comes to where this movie ranks on the Batman films.
He can fly.
Not for long. Hit the flood!
Coming in at number 9, The Dark Knight Rises. So The Dark Knight Rises is a good movie that should have been great. After giving us two phenomenal films, we as fans might have been spoiled and had our expectations a bit too high. What this film did was show us where the chips fell after The Dark Knight. We saw a city that needed to be told a lie just to save it from itself. The film has plenty of great moments, but it also has some moments that left you wondering what the point of it was. In the end, the film is still a must-watch to finish the Nolan trilogy, and it's still better than most superhero films out there.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Coming in at number 8, Batman. The first time a darker, more adult Batman was brought to the screen, it became a critical and commercial hit. This Tim Burton adaptation was able to balance his crazy, unique style of filmmaking with a proper take on the Caped Crusader. We got what some still argue are the best Batman and Joker interpretations by Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, and one of the darkest superhero films to ever be seen at that time. It took shades of the influence from the current stories being told about Batman at the time by Frank Miller, and it might actually be the most comic book Batman live action story we've ever gotten. And that's the reason that fans today still adore it.
Come on, you gruesome son of a bitch. Come to me.
Coming in at number 7, Batman Returns. So in the sequel, Tim Burton went bigger and better by giving us more of what we loved in the first one. We got phenomenal casting with Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. It's one of the only superhero films to handle the three-villain formula well. Batman Returns was darker and delivered a top-notch score that rivals any superhero film today. Michael Keaton outdoes himself this time around by showing why he is the best Batman-Bruce Wayne combo ever put on the big screen. For many, the original Batman is the one that stands out, but for me, Batman Returns is a little bit better.
Hey, Batman, push the princess!
Coming at number 6, Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. So if you're not familiar with Batman Beyond, think Batman set in a Blade Runner style universe. If you watch one version of this film, make sure it's the unrated one, as it takes the film to another level. This film brings back the Clown Prince himself in a huge way, connecting Batman Beyond with Batman the Animated Series. It's one of the most personal Bruce Wayne stories ever told, and it introduces the new Batman, Terry McGinnis, to the most twisted villain of all time. The Return of the Joker is stark, twisted, and horrifying in the best possible Batman way.
Hello, Gotham. Joker's back in town.
Can't be.
Coming in at number 5, Batman Year One. Batman Year One chronicles the first year Bruce Wayne transforms into the Dark Knight. While the film is a Batman movie, it still has a strong focus on Jim Gordon. The movie shows a unique view of a less confident Batman and shows the rise of a detective who would one day become veteran Commissioner Gordon. Both men are trying to find where they fit in the world and what methods need to be taken to save Gotham. Based on the Frank Miller graphic novel of the same name, it is an almost perfect adaptation, and this time around, the story really grabbed me.
Ladies, gentlemen, you've eaten well. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over. From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Coming in at number 4, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. The film was set during the Batman animated series, and Mask of the Phantasm was DC's first attempt at a featured animated film. And they knocked it out of the park by showing us how to tell a great Batman story. It has the beautiful 90s cartoon style which almost everyone loves, and for the first time we got to hear greats Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill in a full-length movie together. It tells a phenomenal Batman story about mistaken identity, what true romance is, and it's filled to the brim with action. The film has a strong focus on the past, and although it might not be as dark as other films on this list, the terror and fear still lie within. If any part of you likes Batman the Animated Series or likes Batman stories as a whole, make sure you seek out Mask of the Phantasm. It's definitely one that you must watch.
Your angel of death awaits.
You ain't the Bat. Who are you? What do you want?
I want you, Chucky boy.
Coming in at number 3, Batman Under the Red Hood. It's more than likely Batman's most tragic story brought to life. The story focuses on a mysterious figure who calls himself the Red Hood, who is taking down mobsters in the most brutal ways. The film is about opening old wounds as Batman is still dealing with the tragedy that came to his last Robin, Jason Todd. The idea of Batman not being able to save the day is not one that we are used to seeing. So when we see him fail to save Robin in the opening sequence of this film, it sets the tone for what we are in for. The film adapted multiple Batman stories into one phenomenal movie, and no DC animated movie has ever made me feel truly the way that this one did. I can honestly say of all the films on this list, this is my favorite story.
You want to rule them by fear, but what do you do with the ones who aren't afraid? I'm doing what you won't. I'm taking them out.
Tell me what happened to you. Let me help.
It's too late.
Coming in at number 2, Batman Begins. So we actually have to thank Batman and Robin for giving us Batman Begins. If not for that atrocity, we would have never gotten this new take on Batman. The film no one really expected to be good turned out to be absolutely phenomenal. It took Batman into the more realistic, grounded in reality universe we did not expect to ever see. Christopher Nolan at the time was considered an indie director and got the chance of a lifetime to reinvent Batman on the big screen. What he gave us was something that nobody could have expected. The film stands out as one of the best origin stories we have ever seen and has an outstanding cast led by Christian Bale, who is the best Batman to date. Filled with amazing sequences, great performances, and a great score, Batman Begins is considered one of the best comic book movies ever made.
Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
Coming in at number 1, The Dark Knight. The reason that the Oscars moved up to more than 5 Oscar nominations for Best Picture is The Dark Knight. Because it's not just a great superhero film, it's one of the best crime movies ever created. Having fans worried that Batman Begins was a flash in the pan, fans screamed out in anger when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker. Everyone was proven wrong when the film was released, and Heath Ledger got an Oscar nomination for his work. The film is well structured, beautifully paced, amazingly acted, and one of the most memorable movies of all time. The film was a complete game changer in the genre of superhero films, and proved that films about people dressed up in costumes could be taken serious. It's one of my favorite films of all time and what I always look for in the next superhero film. I don't care if the film is dark, light, grounded in reality, set out in space, what I want is a great movie. And what The Dark Knight did was give me a movie that I wanted to see in the theaters more than 7 times. For that reason alone, The Dark Knight is the greatest Batman movie of all time.
Killing is making a choice.
Where are they?
Choose between one life or the other. Your friend, the district attorney, or his blushing bride to be. You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 best Batman movies of all time. If you agree with the list, give it a big thumbs up. If you don't agree with the list, give it a thumbs up anyway, and let me know in the comments why you disagree with the list. Let me know what your top 10 is, what the order should actually be, and if you can, please subscribe, comment below, and share this video with all of your friends. Talk to you guys later. Peace.